Hi, I'm Hayley Victoria and welcome back to my crime and policing channel. In today's session we are looking at how evidence has helped solve some crimes committed at Halloween. I don't always walk around in jumpers like this. Okay, maybe I do. But anyway, it's Halloween. We're looking at some real crimes committed around Halloween, but more importantly, how evidence has helped to convict some seriously bad eggs. The first crime we're going to talk about is the murder of Peter Fabiano. That's it, Peter Fabiano. Now, Peter was 35. He owned 2 successful salons in LA. He was married to Betty and they had 2 children from her previous relationship. Sounds like a pretty sweet deal, right? Well, one day, a lady came into one of the salons called Joan Rabel. Now, Joan was recently divorced, a successful journalist, by the way, before she ended up in this salon, and she formed a very close friendship with Peter's wife Betty. Very close. In fact, the papers said it was abnormal, which in 1957 means homosexual. So they were part of the LGBTQ+ family, and you know, Peter found out about this and he was not impressed, as you can imagine, right? So he had it out with Betty, and Betty's like, you know, I'm really sorry, please let's give it another go, let's try and make it work. And Peter's like, okay, but you're not seeing that woman ever again. She was like, okay, cool. So Betty told Joan, you know, it is off, I'm trying to make it work with my husband, sorry, but we can't have any contact. She wasn't happy, Joan, not Betty. Joan really was not happy. Betty, meanwhile, was trying to make things work with her husband and a family in the salons, you know. Sorry and all that, let's make a fresh start of it. But Joan, like I said, was not happy. She made friends with a lady called Goldyne Pizer. I think that's how you pronounce it. Now, Goldyne had also been recently divorced from her husband and was also in the closet for a long, long time. That means that she was also homosexual, but hiding under a guise that she was not. Bearing in mind it's 1957, right? People weren't all that accepting back then. So Goldyne and Joan made fast friends, gossiping, having dinner, you know, having a coffee and stuff like that. And quite quickly, Goldyne became enamoured with Joan. Joan had really done a number on her, really manipulative. And she was telling her how upset she was about her friend Betty and how she got this evil husband and the only thing they could do to save her would be to kill him. I mean, right about now you'd be like, this is not a good friend to be with, right? But not Goldyne. She was like, okay. Then they got a 38 Smith & Wesson gun, and it was Halloween night in 1957. They were outside the house of Betty and Peter, and all the lights had just gone out. The trick-or-treaters had been around all night, so in America, like, trick-or-treating's huge, isn't it, right? Peter and Betty had gone to bed, the kids were in bed, they heard a knock at the door. Oh God, thought Peter, gotta get out of bed. Went downstairs, got his bowl of sweets or candy, opened the door, and this is where Betty said she heard a deep voice and then obviously a bang, a gunshot. She went downstairs, obviously like, what the heck is going on? And there Peter was bleeding out. She was like, oh my God! She went to the next door neighbour, who was a police officer, and they got him to Sun Valley Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. He bled out, he died. Yeah, and that's what happened that night. There was only one witness who was a teenager, and they said they saw a car speeding off, but not really much else. And there were no bullet casings left at the scene. However, and I love these people, there was a tip-off to the police a couple of weeks later about the storage locker where the gun had been hidden by Goldyne Pizer and Joan Rabel. They found the gun. Guess what? It was a match to the one that had shot and killed Peter. Oh dear, Goldyne. The tip-off also pointed out to Goldyne Pizer's house. As soon as he got there, she was like, do you know what? I'm glad to get it off my mind. Yeah, it was me. But I had to, because Joan said we've got to save a friend. And Joan was like, I had to save my friend from this evil man. 1957, right? They thought just because they were part of the LGBTQ family that they were insane. And they pled insanity to the police. They were both charged with second-degree murder and served like 5 years in prison. But that was all they served, because back in those days they didn't believe that women who were homosexual had the mental capacity to do things like that. Really? Anyway, yeah, so that's a crime that was committed at Halloween and was solved using evidence. So they used like a witness statement for the tip-off. They used the evidence found with the gun, and yeah, and obviously the confession from Goldyne when they picked her up. Happy Halloween!